Well, young people, they experience complex feelings just like us adults, but sometimes they don't have the words to quite express how they feel, and that can lead up to acting out in ways that can be problematic. And my next guests are a mother and daughter team who wrote a new children's book called Field Trip that's all about identifying emotions. Please welcome Marcella and Stella Waldman. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
And may I say thank you for writing this book, because it is really hard to get our kids to talk about their emotions a lot of times. So tell me more about Field Trip.
Okay, do you want to start out and tell a little bit about the book?
Sure. Field Trip is a book about going through an ordinary day with many emotions, and it's trying to teach young children about vocabulary about their emotions.
That's amazing, and it's really important. I like that you kind of just take someone through a day. Marcel, why is it so important for the kids to have vocabulary?
So having the words and being able to not only have the words, but also understand how those translate to the cues in our bodies are so important for us as adults to be able to understand how our kids are feeling. And if they, I use the typical sort of like sad and grief are really different, but yet maybe the look is the same, or the feeling to a young child might be the same, like I'm feeling sad. But grief is very different. And so knowing that, the research shows us that name it to tame it, and it's true. If we can actually find the vocabulary that goes with what's happening in our bodies, we're able to come to, especially with those tough emotions, a calmer place, and then sort of work through, which this book really also has those pieces of pushing through and resilience and growth mindset, so that we're not only naming them, but then what do I do with them?
That's
right?
the thing, is what do you do with them? Why did you two decide to write this book together?
So I've been writing books since I was young, and I really wanted to help my mom with this because I wanted to give her a perspective of a kid for the story she's writing for kids.
Wow. I gotta say, Stella, you're 12. You're a little pro at this now, but is there a benefit in checking in and keeping the dialogue going, as you get older with your mom?
There definitely is. My mom, when I come home from school every day, she checks in and asks, like, how was school? How was lunch? Did you talk to some new friends today? And it makes me feel like I have someone to talk to and someone cares about me. And I can share all my emotions, what happened with her. And sometimes I check on my friends and I'm like, how was your day? And so they feel like because I don't know if their parents are asking them how their day went. So I want them to feel good.
I love that. That is great advice. That's
I have to
wonderful.
say, like, I go through the text messages and I check through things to see, and I think she's got a few friends, like, they're really good at checking in with each other. So I think not only are we hopefully doing this for our children, but we're modeling what that looks like, because eventually we would like to see them doing this
100%.
with their friends, and maybe checking in with their parents too sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I have to ask, because when we interviewed you in the past, we brought up these cute little things.
Yes.
They are the different faces and emotions, but also the different colors. Tell me about what the colors and how the emotions relate.
So I would say mostly, coming up with the dolls was all about, not only what our faces may look like when we're feeling certain emotions, but also what's happening in our bodies. So in our eyes and our head and our belly and our, and then coming up with, when we think of art, like when we think of happiness, we might use the color yellow, or when we're drawing something that's more of an angry or frustrated feeling, right? We might use red. So, and then embarrassed, right?
Oh, is that what pink is?
Like
is
little
embarrassed?
little cheeks getting
I think this might be my favorite one so far.
Yeah, so just coming up with the colors that sort of translate into those, what are we feeling like excited, right? So that orange just kind of lent itself.
And the illustrations in the book also kind of match this too. So like you said, it's such a great way to get them to express, but what a great tool for getting kids to talk. Thank you so much for creating this, for coming up with a way that we can really communicate, and thank you so much for coming on and sharing this and being a good role model to your friends. That's incredible.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, we will have to